Welcome to the webinar, and we will be looking at how to shift ourselves to the fifth dimension and still be effective in the third dimension. And let's bring up the slides. So I'm Michael Light, and let's have a look at what the fifth dimension is. So that's where we are at a higher vibration, and it's easier to manifest. In fact, it's very easy to manifest, whether the thoughts you have are positive or negative. And it's also a place where it's possible to be at peace. By higher vibration, I'm referring to the scale of emotions and vibrations. The starts off at low vibrations like shame, moves up to higher vibrations through love, grace, peace, and other high vibrations. So a lot of us spend time in the fifth dimension at higher vibrations. One of the issues is that we have difficulty dealing with the third dimension of physical reality. So that's what we're going to look at shifting today. So why would you even want to be in the fifth dimension? I mean, for me, it's part of my consciousness ascension. There are many dimensions. This is just one that's accessible to us right now. And it makes manifesting easier. It provides more peace, more love, and, just being one with all. So it's a very beautiful place, and there's a lot of advantages being on on this planet, in a body, in this time, to being in the fifth dimension. But there's also some disadvantages that I want to eliminate together in this group. So what is the third dimension? That's just physical reality, three dimensions, east, west, north, south, all the compass directions, and then up and down. So physical reality, or third dimension, is where we have bodies, where we, generally we have to eat food and drink water to stay alive. We have to deal with money and banks and businesses, all the standard things that humans get up to, but not the spiritual dimension of our lives. And why would you want to stay in 3D if you can go to higher dimensions? Well, you don't have to. I mean, that's a choice. But if you want to get anything done on this planet, you're going to need to deal with 3D. You're going to need to deal with money. You're going to need to deal with other people. You're going to need to deal with businesses and paperwork and all that stuff. So, that's why you probably still want to stay connected to some extent with 3D, even if you go to higher dimensions. Because otherwise, if you have a business, it ain't going to work, and you won't make the money you want to make, which can be frustrating. Now, if you're in a state of peace, if you can mute yourselves, that would be great. If you're at a higher dimensional space, it's somewhere in here there's a function that lets me mute everyone, but I don't know quite where it is. And I set it up so everyone was muted when they came in. But joys of technology in the third dimension, right? It doesn't always do what we want it to do. And that's one of the things we're going to look at later. Yeah, I mean, if you're at a higher vibration, you might say, screw the third dimension. I'm just going to be a love and peace bunny, and I'm floating around in space. And that's a fine choice, And if you're astral traveling, or you're not concerned about having a physical body and having physical possessions, maybe that doesn't matter to you. So, but for most of us, I think we'd like to have successful businesses and affect change on this planet and improve the life of other humans as well as ourselves. And that means you need to deal with the third dimension. So what I'm calling this is 5D plus 3E, which I'm saying stands for 5 being in the fifth dimension, but being effective in the third dimension at the same time. So you get all the power of having the fifth dimension, being able to manifest things quickly, feeling a sense of peace, being neutral to stuff that happens in your life. But you're also able to get everything you want to happen in the third dimension to happen easily. So what we're going to do in this webinar is shift fully into 5D, because a lot of us are kind of straddling between 5D and 3D, and that's a kind of uncomfortable experience because you don't get the benefit of either, really. And for me, you know, the way it happens for me is, you know, I'm feeling happy and sad at the same time, or you know, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm wide awake and I'm kind of wired, but I'm also really tired at the same time. And there are many other ways that not being fully in 5D happens. Health issues, you know, friends just dying for no reason in your reality field. So for me, I found it's better to get fully to 5D, but also have you know, control over my 3D reality at the same time. So what would it take for each of us to be in 5D or better and to live a easy, abundant, and wonderful life in this 3D world? What would that take for us to do that? So what are some of the problems? And if you have somewhere, I have the chat box, let me bring that up. If you want to type into the chat things you've noticed that are problems with being 5D or high vibration and dealing with the physical world, while you're typing that, let me talk about some of the other ones that I've seen. I mean, I just get tired of dealing with money when I'm not effective in the third dimension, but I'm in higher dimensions. I get tired of having a physical body and I have to exercise it and I have to feed it and I have to poop it and, you know, do all the things we have to do with physical bodies. You know, I get tired of being on a planet. I get tired of being in time. You know, when you're at higher dimensions, you're outside of time. You can do things across time. And it's kind of frustrating when you want to manifest things to deal with time. Because it's kind of, you know, you have to wait for stuff to happen. Sometimes get lots of ups and downs. I've had, in the last few weeks, I've had strange body pains, you know, like I'll have a migraine for a day and then the next day my tummy really hurts. The other day my legs hurt, you know, not for no Western medical reason. Notice strange drama in my friends. Notice people in my reality, whether they're friends or other people I know, just dying for no, you know, not for good reasons. They just seem to up and die. Probably because they can't handle the vibration, or maybe their incarnation, they only bought a ticket to the first act of the play and didn't really want to see the second act. And also, you know, seeing amazing coincidences and lots of manifesting. Sometimes people get afraid that they'll manifest too easily. You know, what if I have a negative thought and it happens instantly? I've also had a lot of my computer crashing for no reason. And communications not working, particularly Skype seems to be particularly prone to that, especially if I'm doing a lot of energy work. And that's why I chose to use Zoom for this call, so that, because it seems to work better. Let me stop sharing the screen and see if I can see the chat, because I don't see the chat right now. Oh, here it is. Maybe it came up. Let's see what... so Lisa's saying she's super tired of having to work for money to pay bills. It keeps me stuck in energy I don't want to be in and keeps me doing work I don't want to do. So I get distracted from the higher work I really love. And my life, she says, her right hip has been out of alignment and painful for a month despite getting a bunch of body work. And Michael says, a lack of motivation to play in 3D marketplace. Most of my energy is going towards ascension, feeling I'm complete here on earth and wondering why I'm still here. Well, yeah, sometimes we wonder that, you know, what's the point of having a body? You know, maybe we should just leave. So, but I'd love you all to stay here at least for the length of this webinar, if not for many years more. So let me oh, you guys, I see, I didn't stop sharing the screen because I found the chat. So let me move on. So let's get ready to upgrade. And let's, first step of that, let's TLC, which means to the light connect. So just put both feet on the floor. Some of you have done this before, but let's all do it together. And I'm going to give you some extra twists and advanced TLC features that I haven't written about before. So both feet on the floor, eyes closed, sit upright, take a deep breath, and take your consciousness up thousands of miles where you can sense your own truth, light, and love, and bring that aspect of yourself down through the top of your head, down through your head, through your throat, through your shoulders, your chest, your stomach, your abdomen, your hips, down through your legs, go down through your feet, and down, down, down into the ground, down to the center of the earth, and connect to the love, support, unconditional acceptance and understanding of Mother Earth, and bring that light back up through your feet, your legs, your hips, your abdomen, your stomach, your heart, your throat, your head, and out through the top of your head. So now you have light coming from above and below at the same time through your body. And now expand your heart out as big as the room you're in, as big as the building you're in, as big as the city you're in, across the country you're in, as big as the planet, as big as the solar system, across the galaxy, and as big as the universe. So that's basic to light connect. And notice how you feel having done that. And now, what I want you to do, and do this without using your rational mind to think about it, just intuitively do it. I want you to connect to your home planet. So as well as having the planet Earth sending light from below, have your home planet send light from below as well, and connect that in. So you have light coming from above and two sources of light from below, from Mother Earth and from your home planet. And re-expand your heart out with that energy to fill the whole universe. And then notice what you feel when you've connected to your home planet as well. I know for me, just doing TLC and making sure I connect to my home planet really makes doing stuff on this planet a lot easier. All stuff that seemed nutty and crazy and I couldn't deal with and I was tearing my hair out with, it suddenly became a lot easier. So I'm curious, connecting to the home planet. So just type into the chat if you are, and I will attempt to get the technology of the chat to come up. Got Megan saying, definitely experiencing the random body pains for no reason to justify. Anyway, that I find really helps. And then let's do one other thing with the TLC. We've connected to light from above and below. Let's also bring in light all the way from the left through our body and all the way from the right. Symbolically for me, that could be the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming through our body, and expand that out from our heart as big as the universe. And then bring light from in front of us and behind us, all the way through our body. So we have light coming from in front and behind, and expand that light out as big as the universe. And from the inside and outside, from other dimensions, and expand that out. So now you've got light coming from above, below, left and right, front and back, and from inside out, and you've expanded that, which means you have a lot more light flowing through you. And notice how you feel doing that. I feel a lot more awake and like there's a lot more light going on. So having done that, and you may notice energy clearings, I get shakings to the head happening. Some people start yawning or farting or other things, shifting energy. So that's very normal when you bring a lot of energy in. So let's upgrade each of our chakras to be their ideal healthy self, and also in 5D and effective in the third dimension, what I'm calling 5D plus 3E. So let's start with our Earth star, which is a foot or two below our feet. It's our connection to Mother Earth. So what would it take for your Earth star to be your ideal healthy self and 5D plus 3E? And let's, everything in the way of that, let's just clear that out. Let's release it across all realities. And let's imagine you have a magic expansion or zoom button for your chakras so you can expand it out so you can get even more light into it. So let's expand your Earth star and throw even more light into it. Imagine a waterfall of light coming from all of those 8 directions that we talked about earlier: above, below, left, right, front, back, and inside, outside. And it's just washing away anything that's stopping that chakra from being your ideal healthy self in the 5th dimension and effective in the 3rd dimension. And let's move on to our root chakra. That auto expand function, once you move on from it, it comes back to the regular size. You don't have to remember to reclose it. It's automatic in the way it works. So let's expand our root chakra. And what would it take for our root chakra to be our ideal healthy self in the 5th dimension or higher and effective in the 3rd dimension? And everything in the way of that, relight, release across all realities. And just see light coming from all directions, washing away any blocks. And if you want to, you can have the light be a color that your intuition thinks would help. And you can add shapes as well. So for me, I'm just throwing green triangles or green tetrahedrons into this right now, because that's what came to me. But you might have cubes or spheres or pentagons or other shapes, and you might have any other color that comes to your intuition. Whatever your intuition says will help clean the chakra out and get it to your intention of being your ideal healthy self. And let's move on to the 2nd chakra, the sacral chakra. That's just below your belly button. And expand that. And what would it take for your sacral chakra to be your ideal healthy self in the 5th dimension and effective in the 3rd dimension? And just flood light and shapes and colors to clean away any crap that's stopping you being that way there. Clear away any abuse that you've stored away in your 2nd chakra, any twisted sexual energy that you've stashed away there, and any way you've blocked your creativity in your life, because creativity often happens through that chakra. Let's just throw a whole waterfall, an enormous waterfall. Think of the biggest waterfall you can imagine, and it's all made of colored lights and shapes, and it's just pouring through that chakra. All right. So let's move on to our 3rd chakra, the solar chakra. Expand that. What would it take for your solar chakra to be your ideal healthy self in living in the 5th dimension and effective in the 3rd dimension? And just see a waterfall of colored light and shapes, clearing out anything in the way of that, activating your chakra into this dimensions. 3rd chakra is often associated with being powerful. So anywhere you've been a victim in your life, in your reality, let's leave that out. Anywhere you were bullied or suppressed in school or religion or parenting or work or military or government. All the fun ways we use to suppress our power here and pretend we're not powerful beings, powerful spiritual beings having a body in a time on a planet. Because we're all infinitely powerful spiritual beings, really. We just pretend we're not to have this human experience. But this is the time to change that. Okay, let's add a whole bunch of light in there from all directions. So it's shining brightly, and we're powerful spiritual beings. Can manifest whatever we want in our life whenever we want it. And let's move to our fourth chakra, the heart chakra. And what would it take for your heart chakra to be your ideal healthy self in the fifth dimension and effective in the third dimension? And everything in the way of that, release, relight across all realities. Let's just throw a whole ocean, a whole enormous waterfall cascading through that in all directions. From above, below, left, right, front, back, inside, outside, any other dimensional directions. Let's bring all our angels in to help with this clearing. Because we don't have to do all the work. We can ask our spiritual guides and angels to help us. And let's let go of any hate or anger or other lower emotions we're holding in our heart chakra. And as well as the light flowing into our chest, our heart, our lungs, let's have it also flow into our arms and hands, because those are also part of the heart chakra. That's why when we hug someone, we don't just bump chests with them, we wrap our arms around them. So they're enveloped in our heart chakra. So let's upgrade all of that. And let's move on to our shoulders, the fourth and half chakra. That's where we often stash shoulds, have tos, musts, obligations, responsibilities, which those of us who are entrepreneurs or have businesses, we often stash a lot of crap there. So let's just clear that of all the crap. What would it take for our shoulder chakra? Our higher heart chakra is another name for it, where our thyroid lives. What would it take for this chakra to be our ideal healthy self in the fifth dimension and effective in the third dimension? And let's just use a waterfall of light from all directions to clear our shoulder chakra. And just release all those have-tos, shoulds, oughts, obligations, and heaviness that we hold in our shoulders, that weigh down our heart. And I'm seeing light from my home planet coming up in there and giving me support. Okay, so let's move on to our throat chakra, the fifth chakra. What would it take for your fifth chakra, your throat, to be your ideal healthy self, effective in the fifth dimension and third dimension, living in the fifth dimension, able to express your truth, able to hear your inner truth, not upset and affected when other people say things to you, and able to observe and listen to them and act when necessary. Let's expand that chakra so we can get even more light in, see light coming in from all those 8 directions or any other dimensions you want to send light into it to clear it out. A whole waterfall of multicolored, multi-shaped light, clearing out any untruths, lies, deceptions, anything you're hiding your own truth from yourself. And make sure you're getting the light to both the front and the back of the chakra. Often we hide stuff behind us, and it's very common that we have crap in the back of our chakras. Traditionally, chakras have like a cone of light at the front and a cone at the back. once you raise to a higher dimension, they kind of turn into just a bubble of light in that area. So, or your chakra may be different. Everyone's chakras can be different. But it is incredibly common that we throw stuff we don't want to deal with during our lifetime and past lifetimes behind us. And they often can be found in the back of our chakras. So when you're cleaning your chakras, and this is a practice I recommend you do every day, just clean your chakras. And I've been going through this at a fairly fast speed. You know, if you're doing it yourself, feel free to take as long as you want to on any individual chakra, particularly if you notice you have wounds or past patterns that are hiding in there. And, you know, it probably take quite a number of goes around. You know, if you haven't cleaned your chakras for years or decades, then, you know, don't expect it's all going to clean out perfectly in one go. It's sort of like if you've been wearing the same dirty clothes for, you know, 30 years or 50 years, and they had a bunch of stains and food cramp on them, you might have to stick them through the wash more than one time to get all the stains out. So let's move on to the sixth chakra, the third eye. It lives in our head. It's often where we pick up intuitive information, and it's also where we have our rational thought, and it's where many cultures in the West place our consciousness, though cultures in other countries place the consciousness in the heart. So that's just where you decide your consciousness is going to be. And this chakra for me not only has a front and a back, but which would be my inner eye, or my third eye, the front and the back of that. But I also have a left front and left right, which are the inner ears, and a left back and a left right, which are also the back of the inner ears. So that's how I perceive my third chakra, but you may have a different structure depending on what galaxy or, you know, you came from. So just expand out that chakra. And at this point, rather than working from your third eye, which is probably where you've been doing this magic and psychic work, I would suggest you move your consciousness down to your hips and move them outside of your body and work from your consciousness held outside your body, because it's a little hard to work on the third eye if your consciousness is up in the third eye at the same time. And just a general thing you can do when working on your body, whether it's the chakras or other things, instead of working inside your body, you can visualize a copy of your body that you do all the work on. So I just visualize a copy of my body in front of me and see all this light cleaning it out. So if you see your body in front of you, you see your head, expand out the head and flow in light from all directions to that copy of your head in front of you, cleaning out any crap from the third eye. What would it take for your third eye to be your ideal healthy self and to be in the fifth dimension or higher and effective in the third dimension? And just have a waterfall of light and color and shapes coming from all directions, clearing out anywhere where you covered up your intuition, you pretended not to know, you denied that you have wonderful magical powers and psychic abilities and time travel abilities. All of that, let's just drop that away. And let's move up to the crown chakra. That's just above the head. What would it take for your crown chakra to be your ideal healthy self in the fifth dimension, effective in the third dimension? And everywhere you block connection to the divine or God, or acknowledge that you yourself are a part of God, you are God, clear that out, release free light across all realities. Everywhere you don't see yourself as part of the universe, let's delete that. And let's just flow a whole bunch of light from every direction to clear that chakra so it can be your highest, healthiest self. And let's go above the crown chakra to the soul star. So that's a foot or two above your crown chakra. Let's expand that. This is the chakra that lets you be embodied on a planet in a time and do all the things you want to do here. A lot of people have blocks in this chakra, which is why they don't want to be in a body. They don't like being in time, and they hate being on the planet and having to deal with all the stuff we deal with here. So let's expand that chakra. What would it take for your soul star to be your ideal healthy self and in the fifth dimension or higher and effective in 3D? And the soul star can not only be a star above the head, but it also can extend down into like an egg shape that surrounds your whole body and helps project your body into this reality field. So just see light and color coming into the whole of that. And everywhere you don't want to be in a body and deal with all the physical things, let's release relight across all realities, any of those beliefs. Anywhere you don't like having to deal with time and just wish you could do stuff across time all the time, let's release relight that across all realities. And everywhere you don't like being on this planet and all the wacky stuff and politicians and environmental stuff and companies and other things that happen on this planet you don't like, let's just release all that resistance. Yeah, some big yawns there I'm seeing, and some twitches and other stuff, because in my experience, about 80% of people have blocks in this chakra and really don't like being in their body on a planet in a time, the whole time. And the other 20% just incarnated down onto Earth for the first time, and they kind of think it's fun. So, and let's just do a bit with our higher dimensional chakras above the soul star. That's how we connect with angels and other guidance easily. So what would it take for your higher dimensional chakras to be their ideal healthy self and in the fifth dimension or higher and effective in the third dimension? Let's clear that out. And see a whole bunch of light coming in there. So just make sure your feet are on the ground, you're connected from above and below, and you're TLC'd, your whole energy is expanded out. Heart energy is expanded to fill the universe. And notice how you feel having cleaned your chakras. You might notice, are there any particular chakras you want to come back later and do more cleaning on? Or any insights you got from that? And let's move on to our meridians. So we have 12 meridians in the Chinese medicine system in our body. There are another 2 that are outside the body. And then there's another few energy channels that you may have seen in that Kundalini yoga symbol with the 2 snakes around a sword. So let's just clear all of those. And I'm going to do them quicker than the chakras, but you might choose to come back and play with individual meridians. So let's just expand out meridians 1 through 6, which I often see as being on the left side of my body, and expand those out. What would it take for all those meridians to be my ideal healthy self and in the fifth dimension or higher and effective in the third dimension? And let's just see a flood, a waterfall of light coming from all dimensions, cleaning out those meridians and anything stuck in them. Let's clean out those Kundalini channels, the Idala, the Sushumna, the Pindala, those 3 central channels. What would it take for those to be your ideal healthy self and living in the fifth dimension and effective in the third dimension? And what would it take for meridians 7 through 12 to be your ideal healthy self and living in the fifth dimension or higher, effective in the third dimension? And clear those out of any blocks. And what would it take for your other 2 meridians, the 13th and 14th, and those correspond to the soul star and the earth star and the chakras, for them to be your ideal healthy self and at the fifth dimension or higher and effective in the third dimension? And I'm just going to take a little drink. I've got some lukewarm tea that was hot earlier. You might have some water you might want to drink. So let's upgrade, let's move to our cellular body. So by that I mean all our cells, but also all the bacteria, viruses, parasites, you know, subcellular matter, molecules, atoms, everything at the cellular level or smaller that's in our bodies. What will it take for all our cells to be our ideal healthy self and living at the fifth dimension or higher and effective in the third dimension? So just visualize the 60 trillion or so human cells you have and the other 600 trillion or more other kinds of cells that live in your body too in a symbiotic way. And just see all of those cells lighting up with light. You're sending light to each of those individual 600 and plus trillion cells from above, below, left, right, top, down, inside, outside, any other directions you want to come. And you're sending color and shape to every one of your cells, and you're seeing them just sparkling with light and health and the ability to function in higher dimensions while being effective in the third dimension. And anywhere you have blocks, anywhere you have resistance to your cells being this full of energy, just release free light across all realities. And anywhere you're angry at bacteria or viruses or parasites being in your body, just release that. Let's just, let's just tell all those other critters that are in our bodies, it's okay to be here, just as long as they keep the party down and they're not disturbing the gross aspects of our body. You know, if I have a cold, I'll talk to the viruses and bacteria in my body and just ask them to keep the party down and just send them some love. And usually that disease will go away if I do that. So everywhere you don't like having other things in your body, just let that go. Be at peace with it. And let's move on to our physical body, our organs, our muscles, our bones, our blood system, nervous system, all the systems in our body that are the physical size. What would it take for all your physical systems to be healthy, to be your ideal healthy self, and to be okay, to be great at living at the fifth dimension or higher, and to be effective in the third dimension? And everywhere in the way of that, release free light across all realities. Let's expand all our physical systems so we can get even more light into them. See a whole waterfall of light and colors coming into all the organs, all the physical beats of our body, and our whole body is just shimmering with light now, and love, and grace, and peace, and all those higher vibrations. And when you have time alone, you might choose to go through your individual organs and body pieces one at a time and give them a lot more love and attention and see if there are any messages they have for you. See if there's any particular blocks in them. I know for myself, I had some blocks in my liver, which I think was due to unexpressed anger and abuse when I was younger. You may find stuff in other, organs. So you may want to spend a whole bunch of time doing that. And one thing I do when I do that, I'll sit in a chair or lie down in bed, and I'll ask my angels to help me with cycling through the organs or the chakras. And I just ask the angels, hey, if I fall asleep, can you just complete doing all the cleaning on the organs or on the chakras or whatever I'm going through? Because often I get so relaxed, I just fall asleep, and I don't want to be worrying about would I fall asleep or not. I want to be relaxed, and it's okay to fall asleep, and I just let the angels finish off the cleaning in that particular cycle. So let's look at our other bodies. We have other dimensional bodies that are not physical. We have our spiritual body, emotional body, but we also have many other dimensional bodies and minds. What would it take for all of our bodies to be our ideal healthy self, and in the fifth dimension or higher, and effective in the third dimension? And just make sure you get any bodies you've hidden behind you as well. Just flood them with light and color and shape and sound, and just see all the stuff you've been holding back, keeping you back from staying in a higher dimension, the fifth dimension or higher, and being effective in the third dimension. Let's drop all of that out of all our other bodies, all our other energy bodies. And you can play again, you can go through individual minds and bodies that you have. depending on what cosmology you believe, on how many of those we have. And you can clean them all out and see what's in there. So now let's just shift to something that's going to be a little deeper. And we're going to look at our belief body where we stash our beliefs. And we're going to look at how many limiting beliefs we have around being fifth dimensional and effective in the third dimension. So ask your own intuition, how many limiting beliefs do I have around being fully and stably in the fifth dimension and being effective in the third dimension at the same time? And just see what number comes into your head. It doesn't matter what the number is. Just being conscious of it starts the clearing process. And now let's expand that belief body and let's see how many of the limiting beliefs you have. Let's see them being flooded and washed away with a waterfall of light coming from all directions, from above, below, left, right, front, back, inside, outside, upside down, all the different directions and dimensions light come from, and just whatever your intuition says for the color to send and the shape to send. And just see it washing away those beliefs that are holding you back, whether you picked them up from school, religion, government, parents, past lives, ancestor lines, parallel lives, future lives, anywhere you're holding them. And make sure you get any that are stashed behind you, where you've been hiding the beliefs, they're subconscious beliefs or sub-subconscious beliefs. And ask your angels to help with this, because we're moving a lot of energy here. And now just see how many beliefs are left. And you could look at individual ones at this point if you've only got a handful, and just send light to each one in turn and cut cords from it to you. And remove any psychic debris that's anchoring those beliefs into your belief body. Sometimes we have little objects that hold our beliefs in place, knives or other weird objects in our psychic body. So let's just dissolve those and let's just send those beliefs away. And let's, at this point I mentioned cords, let's just cut cords, any cords we have with anyone else. You can ask Archangel Michael to help with that, or whichever angel you like to do that. He has, Archangel Michael's traditionally good at that because he has a powerful sword he uses for that. And anywhere you had the cord attached, send light to that place. How did you allow that cord to stay attached for so long? And heal that belief structure that allowed the cords to stay attached. And if you want to, you can heal the other person, how they allowed it to stay attached, whether the energy was draining from you to them or from them to you. And let's cut any cords you have inside yourself, between you and yourself. That's another common way we hold beliefs in place. So see all of those cords dissolving, cutting, and you heal how you held those beliefs in place. You're a totally open, fluid, spiritual God being, and you can change your beliefs through 30,000 times a second if you choose to, anytime you want to. They're just beliefs, they're not you. You're your spiritual body, not your beliefs. Of course, your ego might disagree with that, but we're dealing with a spiritual body right now. And you might choose to come back to this and do some more clearing around individual beliefs that you notice, or do more cord cutting. Let's also just see a whole vortex of, usually I use purple light here. It's kind of swirling around inside your body and another vortex outside, and it's just clearing away any debris. And let's send any entities that are attached to us. That's lower vibrational spiritual beings that typically suck our energy. Let's just command those to go to light. I command all entities around all of us to go to light now. And I cut any cords with them, psychic debris with them. I ask angels to help with that. And I just see them going away. I'm using my third chakra power to do that. I'm commanding that they go. And human beings are millions times or more powerful than any entities. You're the one in charge here. And I also invite you to update your guidance team. Do you have, are all the guides and angels you have of high vibration, love or above? And are all of them beneficial to you at this time in your life? And if not, politely ask the ones that are no longer useful or no longer serving you, hey, you don't need to be on my guidance team anymore. Thanks very much. Have a nice retirement. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty cleaned up. I hope you are too. Now we're going to move on to a few other aspects, and we're going to clean some other things. But I don't know how many of you have used the Macabre meditation from the book The Flower of Life. That's something I've found helps me to be in 5D and effective in 3D. So if you're interested, if that resonates with you, you can read about it in that book. There are instructions there, or you can find courses. I might record a video explaining how to do it. That they have a pretty complicated set of breathing and instructions to do it. I'm just going to create it with intent for all of us right now, so we can all experience it. So I've got a diagram of a star tetrahedron here. It's two tetrahedrons, one upside down, one the right way up. And imagine yourself inside this enormous star tetrahedron. And what would it take for you to activate all the star tetrahedrons in the different dimensions and to clear out any gunk from them? And what would it take for you to bring in a double sphere of light surrounding you and to be in your heart center? And then what would it take for you to activate your Macabre disc by visualizing the tetrahedrons spinning in different directions? And let's move them up to 3421 Fibonacci ratio. And let's move them up to 9/10 the speed of light, creating a golden disc below us that's stabilized. And just notice how you feel when you have that Macabre disc. So I've just created it through intention, but you can create it through specific steps. There are like 17 steps in that meditation, which is why I didn't want to do it in this webinar. But I find that helps me function in 3D when I'm in a 5D space. So if that calls to you, I suggest you check into it a bit more later. And if any of you are interested in me recording a meditation for that, let me know in the chat. So let's move on. So I often notice when I'm in 5D or higher dimensions that my computer doesn't, will crash for no reason, or the internet won't work, or my Skype doesn't work, or other weird things happen on my computer. And I'm, I don't need that to be happening. It gets in the way of me doing stuff. So let's just upgrade all of our computers and technology and internet so that they're ideal, happy selves, and they are effective in 5D and effective in 3D at the same time. And let's just have our computers and technologies have a wonderful relationship between us and them. Yeah, I sometimes, get frustrated with computers, but really they're just doing the best they can. And if you feel the spiritual energy of a computer, they have a very different existence. They're operating at an incredibly fast speed. It's millions of cycles per second. And then this human comes along and hits a key, once every second or two, or moves a mouse. Can you imagine if your life was such, if you were a computer, you'd be living for hundreds of years, and then once every 100 years, the human would hit a key and you were supposed to do something. You can see how you could kind of get distracted and not really be paying attention to the human owner. So let's have us connect with our computers and other technology, and let's raise the vibration. What would it take to raise the vibration of them, have them work reliably for us, and be effective in 3D? And one exercise I do is I visualize myself and my computer and all the computer components and all the software and internet all sitting in a circle in chairs. And then I notice what they're doing. Are they paying attention to me? Are they distracted? Are they missing body parts? And then I use light to fill in anything that's missing. So let's do that for all your computer and technology life. See them all sitting in chairs in a circle. Send them love and light. Have them pay attention to you, because they're working with you to help you in the 3D. And you're helping them ascend to a higher vibration. Okay. And that's something you might, if you have computer issues, you might choose to play with that more to see if any computer software or computer hardware or internet things have messages for you, or there's something that needs healing there. You can always come back and spend more time on that. So let's move on to upgrading your home and office. So what would it take for your home and office to be at 5D and effective in 3D? And let's just clear those spaces with love and light from above and below, and just wash out anything that's lower vibration or anything that's not serving you anymore. So you have a wonderful, sparkly, happy, healthy, holy space to live in, to work in. And let's install magic doorways on your home and your office so that when anyone visits them, they immediately upgrade to a higher vibration, so you don't have to bring drama and lower vibration behavior and entities into the house. So this doesn't stop people from visiting. It just means they automatically upgrade when they come in, and then they can choose whether they want to downgrade when they leave or not. But when they're in your space, you control what energy they're like. And you can put any other intention into magic doorways on space if you want to have other things happen when people enter your space. So let's just see your home and office expanding, throw even more light into them, clearing them, having them support you in your being in high vibration and effective in the third dimension. And you may get inspirations about things to change in your home and office to support you in living this way. So you can journal about those later. Let's move on to our business, and we're going to look at this in two different ways. First of all, we're going to look at the abundance tree of our business. So that's a spiritual symbolism of our business. So imagine a tree that represents your business, and what would it take for this tree to be abundant and in the fifth dimension or higher and effective in the third dimension? And send light from above and below and left and right and front and back, inside, outside to this tree, and see the tree just being sparkly with love and light. And your tree is providing you with a regular stream of ideal clients and money and joy coming to you from your business. And all the people who work with you in your business, all your staff, clients, vendors, they're all surrounding the tree, looking after it, loving it, and enjoying being in its company. And you're just very grateful that you have this business and how abundant it is. And that's a meditation. I sometimes play with 5 or 10 minutes doing things on that. And it produces results for me in the 3D. I just end up with great new clients or wonderful staff or whatever the thing is I'm working on. So let's move to look at the actual physical areas of our business. So there's a concept, the wheel of business, where you think of the different areas of your business and you rate them from 0 to 10. So it might be marketing, sales, accounting, technology, legal, HR, all the different areas you might imagine in your business. And let's upgrade each of the areas in our business to be joyful, profitable, abundant, and we just enjoy being with them. And they are great at 5th dimension or higher, and they're effective in the 3rd dimension. And you obviously could spend much longer on this because you could go into the detail of that. You could also look at the physical things in your business. Maybe you have different offices or computers or filing systems. What can you do to upgrade those, still have them be effective in 3D? And you may have a website or other virtual pieces of your business, and you can send light and love to those and make them sparkly and attract your ideal clients. Or if you're sending direct email to thousands of people, you can put energy and sparkle and intent into that direct email or direct mail or whatever you're doing. So every aspect of your business can have spiritual energy, and you can upgrade it and still have it be effective. I mean, one of the things that I do when I send out direct mail or social messages, I not only put the intent that they're full of wonderful light and sparkly energy, but that they are only seen by the people who are ready to receive that message, and all the other people don't even notice the message. So I don't get any spam complaints because some people didn't like the message. Just the people who are ready for that message see it and interact in the way that, you know, I invite them to whatever I'm doing. So you can go through your whole business in turn on that. Okay. And that's something, again, you could spend a lot more time on, because you may find certain areas of your business, you know, are not joyful for you, or they have some other sticky energy. And you could spend a whole bunch of time just cleaning that out, being conscious about what's going on, maybe shifting things in 3D as well. So I just wanted to do it in general for everyone here, and to introduce you to the concept so that you can go back in detail and clean up each area and dive into deep detail on areas that you really want to pump up the energy in and increase the vibration and still have it be effective. So I've gone through all different areas there. Let's come back. If some of you I know may have gone into a pretty deep space, now's an invitation to come back into a more 3D space so we can interact. I'm going to tell you something you probably already know, which is if you've done some deep energy work, you probably want to do some resting, take a nap, take a walk in nature, walk barefoot on the grass, drink extra water, take a salt bath. That could either be regular salt or Epsom salts. You might want to journal. You know, we've gone some pretty deep places. You just want to be aware that it can take a little 3D time to come back. So don't immediately rush off and do 3D things and expect them to go like they normally would. Like in particular, don't go off and drive a car in 2 minutes time. That would not be a smart idea, because in our 3D bodies, when we drive cars, we have to be pretty aware. But that might also be, don't send an important email right now either. So let's, somewhere in here, I'm going to stop the screen share, and I'm going to see if I can find how to, okay, I've got the things. Okay, so let's just read through the comments, and then I'm going to unmute folks, or feel free to unmute yourself if you have, that might be a better way to do it. If you have something you want to share after I've gone through these comments, let's unmute. So someone's saying they felt better feeling connected when they connected to the home planet. Tetrahedron is 3-dimensional triangles, so it's like a pyramid. And yes, I am recording this, so I'm going to put it in a replay if you want to replay it, because sometimes when I do these clearings, they go very deep and I kind of go to sleep in effect. And someone's saying they would like to see a macabre video made, so I'll do that separately and run through that. But you've got a feeling of that, and you can also look in the Flower of Life. And you can get audio versions of it too. Okay, got someone saying that glad we worked on upgrading their computer because their computer tends to go down. And let's see if I can get my bandwidth. I hope you're hearing me okay, because I think my computer bandwidth has gone a bit sucky. So let's see if I can zap in some extra bandwidth from my cell phone. And while I'm doing that, whoops, settings, where settings go? Just notice how you feel. Notice what's going on. And I'm just going to tell my computer to be well behaved. I know this is a lot of energy going through you, computer, but it's helping out a lot of people. Okay. Okay, and it's the sound better there? Okay, let's see what else we had here. and someone saying that they never clear their shoulders. Yeah, there's a chakra that lives in the shoulders, the higher heart. And we often store a lot of stuff, particularly if we're kind of responsible people like business owners and entrepreneurs. Someone said they got very stressed and upset at their third eye and it actually hurts. That probably means you're doing too much psychic work in your third eye. And I suggest you do your psychic work from other chakras or from outside your body. And you can do a meditation to clean out your third eye or any other chakra. And let me just share that with you, everyone, because it's a really useful one to know. So I don't know, this was Barbara saying this, I don't know which part of your third eye, whether it was the front, the back, the left front, right front, or right back. So different places we get headaches from our third eye, but let's assume it was the traditional third eye. So just see a beam of golden light coming from infinity down through the top of your head to the center of your head, and then coming out of your third eye and going off to horizontal infinity. And it's taking out all the gunk from your third eye. And see green healing light coming back the opposite way from horizontal infinity through your third eye to the center of your head, and then turning 90 degrees and going up through the top of your head to vertical infinity. So you've got the light, gold light going one way and the green light coming the other way. And if your intuition says to use different colors, you can do that. But those are the colors I traditionally use for cleaning chakras. And just let that run a bit and it'll get rid of the pain from your third eye. And then you might need to do it on the other directions of your third eye. So try that if you have third eye stuff. And just in general, if you're doing a lot of deep psychic work, try, just don't do it all from your third eye. If I do a lot of psychic work and magic from my third eye, I get headaches. The head is a small space. And not only do we have the third eye in there, but we've got a lot of other structures and our ego and all kinds of other things. So, if you want to work from another place, just see your consciousness being like an elevator and send it down through your throat to your heart, down into your hips, and then you could have it go sideways out of your body and then do psychic work from there. And doing psychic work from other chakras is a different experience than doing it from the third eye. There's a lot less awareness of what's going on, but the actually more powerful when you do it from, for example, the root chakra. So it's kind of an interesting and more feminine render experience. Maritza is asking, is this a period like Mercury retrograde because you're not feeling love from your devices? I think we're in Venus retrograde. I think we're in Mercury retrograde. But let me tell you my feeling on Mercury retrograde and any of the astrological stuff. And yeah, I encourage you to have a stretch and move your body around, get all this stuff integrated. I view astrology as, it has useful information. It's a bit like a weather forecast. If the regular weather forecast says it's going to rain, I may choose to put a raincoat on or take an umbrella. If the weather forecast says it's going to be sunny, I'll put sunscreen on. But I don't not go out just because it's raining. I just behave differently. And the same thing with astrological info. If Mercury is retrograde, I can pay attention to that and I can back up my computer and I can double check stuff. But I can also say, hey, look, I'm a powerful spiritual being in a body on a planet in a time zone, and I'm choosing to override this astrological Mercury retrograde or whatever it is. And my stuff is going to go just perfectly. And then you can have it go that way. And then the other way I use astrological info is, not everyone is aware they are powerful spiritual beings and that they can do that kind of magic. So it may be that your clients are dealing with that kind of stuff. And you can either upgrade them if you want to do that so you can have a good communication with them, or you can just be aware that they may be a bit kind of damp because they're standing in the rain while you're carrying an umbrella. And then if your technology and phone are not working, yeah, I would do that. Put the technology pieces in a circle. So you've got your phone's hardware, you've got the software that runs on it, Android or whatever the Apple i thing is. You've got all the internet and, radio waves coming through it, and any other pieces you discern along with yourself in a circle, and then just see, what are all these people in a circle doing? in the case of your phone, I think half of the things are like slumped over and not really paying attention. So they need perking up. And Carrie was saying maybe the person, Barbara, who had the third eye pain, maybe she has an entity stuck in there. Yeah, common entities will suck on third eyes, or you may have psychic objects there, you may have cords there. So those are all things you could look at and see if that's what's going on. And you might also ask the headache, you know, does it have a message for you? Maybe you're getting it for a reason. So, Barbara's saying she felt more like an energy ball burning when you felt very upset when you do psychic work. Yeah, you might want to clear your past lives about being upset over psychic work. It's pretty common that people who are good at this stuff now had past lives where they did this, and interesting things happened, like they got killed or burnt at the stake or other stuff, which could lead you to associate being angry and upset with doing psychic work. Yeah, or you could, as you say, you could put your third eye in a chair. So let's see if I can turn the mute off. I'm not quite sure. I'm not a Zoom expert, so let's see if I can get it to do that. I think there's a way to turn everyone's. That's someone turn their mute off. I'm just going to go through and unmute everyone. You're welcome to unmute yourself. We'll probably do it quicker than me. And just to see if anyone had anything else they wanted to share. And if you don't want to be unmuted, feel free to remute yourself. I'm not trying to say you must be unmuted. Whoops. Okay, I think I unmuted everyone. So does anyone have anything they want to share from this experience?
Can you hear me? This is Megan. I just want to say thank you. It was really, really, really powerful, clearing. I hadn't done a lot of these meditations and healing, clearing things before. I'm very grateful that I found your invitation yesterday, and I really want to honor you and your gifts and say thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing, Megan. And I invite everyone to just post back into that Facebook event with anything that occurs to you today too, that you noticed from this. Yeah. Sorry,
Well, that was amazing. I feel much more awake than I did before.
Great. Well, that's wonderful, Carrie. And do you identify any particular piece of work we did that helped you feel more awake? I mean, I know for me, connecting to my home planet was a game changer. So, and you don't have to know what your home planet is. I mean, that's bonus information that's interesting. But you can just command yourself to connect to it, and you're connected.
The shoulder chakra was interesting.
Anyone else want to share? The shoulder chakra, yeah, the 4.5 chakra, the higher heart.
That was quite something.
Well, it's a minor chakra.
Yeah, but you could almost feel.
Yeah, we have the 7 major chakras that everyone knows. Yes, so that's a good one. You know, if you're someone who tends to put burdens on themselves, that would be a great one to focus on each day. Because then you can do your work from a sense of joy and creation instead of burden and responsibility and guilt. Mm-hmm. I mean, often I have guilt or shame stuck in that chakra when I come to clean it. Mm-hmm. And we don't need to use those emotions to get stuff done anymore. You know, we can get stuff done without loading up on guilt in order to achieve stuff. I think that was Barbara speaking, Gary.
Yes, it was. I
see
can't
it
find my
was.
video to unmute my video, but that's, you know.
Oh, no worries. You don't need to unmute video. Okay, looks like, was that Cheryl trying to say something?
I'm good. I thought it was great. I really appreciated the tree for the business too. That was something really powerful for me. And also creating magic doors. That was really helpful. Thank you.
And creating the, great. Maritza was asking, is there a better time of day to clean chakras? Whatever your intuition says is good for you. I mean, I often do it when I wake up first thing in the morning and I'm lying in bed before I get up. And I also do it before I go to sleep. So, but anytime, you know, if you notice some pain in the chakra, then that would be a good time to clean it. But I sort of treat it like brushing my teeth. I clean my chakras every day, whether I need to or not, you know, because I don't want to have to go to the chakra dentist, you know.
No.
And also, to be honest, the first few times you clean your chakras, you're going to find decades of crap in them. But if you clean them every day, they aren't as, you know, dirty. And also having your chakras clean makes it so much easier to create things in the world. It also makes your voice more powerful. One of the reasons my voice sounds the way it does is because I've cleaned my chakras. And when I speak, I'm not just speaking from my mouth. I am sending the energy from all of my chakras from the front and the back. Mm-hmm. And if any of you've done singing or been on stage, you probably did a similar thing with your third chakra, speaking from your stomach or your heart. But you can speak from all of your chakras, and you can speak from the front and the back. And if you do that, it really makes people pay attention. So great for personal relationships, great for doing webinars, great for public speaking. And you may, those of you who are great at public speaking may already be doing this and just not be conscious of what chakra you're speaking from. Patty saying she zoned out and missed things. That's fine. You can put the replay on. You still got cleared even if you zoned out. But I find with doing energy work like this that if I listen to the replay several times, I then don't fall asleep during a particular bit that I fall asleep to. It's sort of like I had to clean the dirty stain out of that part of my energy system. So that can help. See if there are any other comments here. Energy doors to your home and office were amazing. Yeah, they're a great technique. You won't get crazy people coming into your house or office anymore. When I say crazy, I mean people who want to stir the drama up or office politics, things like that. Also, if you upgrade your business in this way, you may find some staff members just either upgrade or they leave. And I'm just okay if they're not an energetic fit for the higher vibration. It's fine that staff or clients or vendors leave and I get better ones replacing them. So just be aware that may happen. Feeling more solid, awake, and emotionally settled, says Morgan. And like the home planet connection. So, and Carrie saying it was helpful. She had a sudden unexpected death in the family and had been feeling down. Well, people sometimes do decide to leave. They don't want to handle the change in vibration that's going on the planet. And so if they can't escape through all the addictions we play around with here, like eating or drinking or drugs or sex or watching TV or shopping or various other addictions we have as humans to avoid dealing with reality, sometimes people just decide it's better to leave. So they'll just reincarnate another time. And you'd love something to focus on the abundance tree. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, I think we're pretty close to time, so unless anyone has anything else here, we'll close in a moment. I just want to read to you. You may wonder why I did this webinar at 11:15 a.m. on this particular day. And I looked at I've got this, oh, is my video working? There you are. I've got this astrology guide called The Good Timing Guide by Marilyn Gerwick, which is a great way of picking up general astrological information. And obviously every individual is born in a different place and time, and every business is incorporated in a different place and time. So your individual astrology and your business's individual astrology, you know, may not be the same, but this is like the global astrology. Anyway, this particular time is when the moon moved into Scorpio, which I thought, I didn't read this until after I'd set the time. I just had the intuition that this was when to do it. When I looked at the astrological weather for the day, which looked good for achieving final results, which is what I wanted to do with this meditation. Anyway, it says it's a great time to get to the bottom of the things and discover what's really going on. Good time to do research or product testing. Expect political intrigue and power issues to come out. This sign leaves no stone unturned, is highly skeptical of superficial answers, so don't try them. If power or control issues show up, watch for manipulation and guilt tactics. And then this paragraph really blew my mind. This energy is great for any type of deep healing or transformative work, especially with teams or groups. It's an exceptional time to release old fears so groups can move forward with optimal decisions and actions. Emotional energy can be intense at this time, though, so own your own power so you won't get stung. I just thought that was quite appropriate.
Michael?
Yes.
Okay. Would you be able to repeat how long that period might be occurring?
How long is the moon in Scorpio? The moon is
Yes,
in any
please.
star sign for like 2.5 days.
Thank you.
The moon rotates around every 28 days, and there are like 12 signs. So divide 28 by 12, and that's how it's about 2.5 days.
Thank you.
Sure. Great. All right. So thank you, everyone, for coming. I want to respect your 3D time. I'd love to get feedback through Facebook or email or however you want to do it. And I invite you to create a wonderful, joyful, profitable day for yourself. So